Today we are going to be making trifle. It's very popular in England and it's my dad's favourite dessert. If you're new to my channel, hello, I'm Rachel and welcome to Smile English Stories, where you can listen to English in lots of different contexts. If I speak too quickly or too slowly, you can change the speed in YouTube. So what is trifle? Well, trifle is a dessert. It's a dessert you don't need to cook, and it's always better the next day. There are many kinds of trifle, a lot of sorts, lots of types of trifle, and every family has its own favourite recipe. Trifle is a dessert in layers. You always use a sort of sponge cake. Or you could use sponge fingers. My mum would use jam rolls or Swiss rolls. You always use a fruity flavour like jam or tinned fruit or fresh fruit. And you usually use custard, thick custard, but this custard is a little too thick. People sometimes put jelly in trifle. Wibble wobble.
Wibble wobble.
But we don't use jelly in my family. And to finish, we usually decorate the trifle with cream. We put cream on the top. In the summer, I made a trifle for a party, so I filmed it for you. It's a family recipe that was handed down from my grandma to my mum to me. Because I live in France, I adapted the recipe. You will see. So today I am going to show you my family's recipe for trifle because it's just so easy. Basically, you add custard to jam and cake and a little bit of alcohol if you want. So if I wash my hands and put my hair up, we can get started. Okay, so first we need to make the custard because the custard needs to cool down. In England, to make custard, we cheat because we have custard powder. If you don't have custard powder, don't worry, it's okay. You can make custard with milk and eggs, and you can see how in another video. So to make English custard, you need 1.5 pints, which is about 850 millilitres of milk, 3 tablespoons of custard powder, and a little sugar. So I am going to pour not all of the milk, but most of the milk into the pan. we need a little milk to mix with the custard powder. So now we can put 3 spoons of custard powder into the milk and mix them together. So to mix the rest of the milk with the custard mixture, we need to heat the milk. When the milk is very hot, when it's starting to boil, you can switch the heat off and pour the milk into the custard mixture. The custard needs to be a little thick. My custard is too thin. It's runny, so I need to put it back in the pan and to heat it a little bit longer. But I need to be careful and stir it with a wooden spoon. Now the custard is thicker, we can take it off the heat and put a little sugar in. And leave it to cool down.
Hello?
While the custard is cooling down, we can prepare the jam and the cake and put them in the dish. I prefer to use a glass bowl because it's prettier, and this was my grandma's special trifle dish. So, if I put the bowl by the cutting board, open the jam jar. I prefer red fruit jam, and take the paper off the cake. We can cut the cake. Perhaps it would be better with a knife. But I'm not sure how much cake. So I am going to cut a piece and weigh it for you. Okay, so it's about 500 grams. So I slice the cake in 3. And then I put the pieces of cake on the cutting board next to each other. And then I put the jam on the cake. And lastly, I cut the cake into pieces. So the pieces should not be too small, like this. And then you can put the pieces in the bowl. Andy, if you want alcohol on your trifle, now is the moment to put it on. Smells good. The traditional English alcohol for trifle is sherry from Spain. But you could use another fortified wine, another strong wine. And that's the end of the bottle. That's sad. So now I am going to get the custard so I can mix the custard in the cake. So you need to mix the custard in slowly, gently. You don't want to transform the cake into a soggy puree. Okay, so I have kept a little custard to put on the top of the cake. So now if I flatten the top of the trifle, I can put the custard on the top. I'm going to get a clean spoon out of the drawer so I can spread the custard out. Okay, so now the trifle is ready to put in the fridge overnight, and tomorrow I can decorate it. So the trifle has been in the fridge overnight, and now I am going to decorate it with whipped cream and chocolate fingers, just like my grandma did. My daughter is going to whip the cream for me.
Yeah! No, not like that. It's not a horse.
You don't whip cream with a whip or a riding crop. You whip cream with a whisk. I think I should ask my husband to whip the cream. That's better. Looks good, but I can't taste it now because we are going to eat it with some friends. But I could taste a finger. So let me know in the comments how you make your trifle. I have just done an experiment with trifle and jelly. It's quite good. See you next time.